What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Reek Knows Hoops. I'm your host Tyreek, and hey, I got two words, man. Collin Sexton. Collin Sexton, he gave it to the Nets, man. This is the first game that the big three for Brooklyn, was playing in the same game. James Harden already played 2 games with KD, but Kyrie's been out for his personal reasons. And also virus tracing, I think, was the other reason why. But, bro, Collin Sexton was giving them the work. I mean, he ended up with 42 points, but the craziest stat from the game, he had like 20 straight points, I think, in the overtime periods. Went to double OT. I think Cleveland won by 12 in double overtime. And Collin Sexton, he put his team on his back in that, down the stretch. Hats off to him because he's been having a really big season. I think it's been kind of under the radar. I mean, he's averaging, I think, like 25 points a game. And Cleveland is actually, they're decently good. Like, they're all right this season, which is, good sign for Cavs fans. They started off the season really hot. Now they're 7-7 on the season. So, they've been playing better, and that's with some injuries. I think this is Collin Sexton's first game back or second game back, but that's some way to return to the lineup, especially going up against the new big three in the league and giving them 42 points. That's big time. He hit the shot, I think, to send it to double overtime. They were down by 3, and he hit a pull-up 3 with Kyrie right on his hip. Hit a pull-up 3, with like 1 second remaining to send it to double OT. So he made some big plays, obviously. And that's a big time. That's just a big time performance from somebody who probably doesn't get a lot of attention. I think probably because he plays in Cleveland, but and his draft class was extremely stacked. I mean, he got drafted with Luka, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton was in that class. I mean, he was kind of like the forgotten dude in that draft class, but he's been steadily getting better each season. I think like rookie year he averaged like 16, maybe 17 points. Bumped it up to about 20 last year. And now, heading into this game, he was averaging 25. So, that number is only going to go up. And he's really been performing in Cleveland. It looks like they have, a solid foundation now. That's something that they haven't been able to say since LeBron left. Like, they have a solid foundation now. Jared Allen played really good in his first game. I think he had a double-double off the bench. And then Taurean Prince, who was kind of just thrown in that trade, he had like 17 points. I think also off the bench. He had 17 points. And, he's he hit a big shot too, kind of the dagger shot down the stretch. And, that's big for those two guys because that's going against their former team. So, maybe a little added motivation. But, I think Jared Allen's going to kind of usher into, being that starting center. I would think Drummond would probably get traded, and the way Drummond's been playing, like his trade value might be a little higher than what it was. It's not going to be extremely high because, last year of his deal, free agent, nobody wants to give him the bag back, but he's been hooping this season too. He didn't really play that great tonight for his standards, but he only played like 25 minutes. They was rolling with Jared Allen, and, he performed really well in this game. Also, Isaac Okoro was doing a really good job guarding James Harden. I'm going to get more to, James Harden's game and all that. But I got to give a shout-out to Cedi Osman. I mean, he was hooping, 25, 7, and 7. He played a big-time game, made some big plays also down the stretch. And, hopefully Darius Garland gets back to the lineup soon because he had also been having a really good, sophomore season. So, hopefully he gets back to the lineup. But, Cleveland – I think they got some stuff to be excited about, honestly. Not just for the future, but right now because, they're watching talent really develop in front of their eyes. And, Collin Sexton, 42 points, hit some big shots, 20 straight by himself. I mean, put his team on his back and beat the almighty Brooklyn Nets, who I'm going to transition to. Now, one thing we know about this team is, like, they're going to be unstoppable, like, offensively almost. Like, they're going to put up points. I mean, Kyrie's first game back in I think 7 games, he had 37, and he was kind of making it look easy. That's just what he does though. He has one of the deepest bags ever, probably. We was kind of talking about that in the group chat, and like he might have the deepest bag ever offensively. I mean, definitely point guard wise, most definitely. But he had 37 in his first game back. KD had 38, but it seems like sometimes KD just has those like them quiet, 35 plus point games. And this kind of seemed like one of them. 38, 12, and 8. 4 block shots. I mean, that's just KD. Like, it's hard to stop KD offensively. It's really just hard to slow him down even. But we was also talking in the group chat. I got some more. He was watching the game. I didn't get to see the early parts of the game, like the first half. But he was saying, like, he thought James Harden was deferring a lot. Like, he was deferring a lot to Kyrie mainly. Probably trying to get Kyrie his rhythm going. And, he also kind of did that the very first game he played with Brooklyn. Like, he was doing that the first half, and the second half he took off. But, once again, I got to give credit to Isaac Okoro, defensively, because, that's really what he got drafted for, was for his defense, and he did a pretty good job on James Harden. But, I don't hate this game from James Harden. I don't really hate this game. I mean, he had a triple-double. But, I feel like some nights, he knows when his shot's not going, and that's the beautiful thing about him not playing with, 2 superstars. Because, if he was in Houston, like, even this season or last season, this would be a game where he would shoot, like, 11 for 30, and then people would be killing him on Twitter and stuff. But, he would have to do those things. But, that's the beautiful thing. You only have to take 14 shots, and they had every chance to really win this game. They were just unable to do it. Really a superhuman effort from Collin Sexton was really the difference. But I think they're going to get it together. I mean, the point that I made when we was talking about it in the group chat was, I don't think, this kind of happens with new teams, like super teams, I guess. Like, people don't want to start stepping on each other's toes, especially, James just getting to the team. He probably doesn't want to come in and, like, mess up the floor or anything. So he wants to keep Kyrie going. He wants to keep KD going and just pick and choose his spots. But I think they're going to figure it out as the season goes on. This is only their first game playing together. So, there's no reason to overreact and no reason to even, like, dissect it too much. They just, they lost a double overtime game. And Collin Sexton had a career night. That's really the main takeaways from this one. Shout out to Collin Sexton for balling out. Hopefully, they get healthy and stuff soon. So, they can continue to grow because they've shown some good steps in the early parts of this season. Yeah, I got to talk about my Celtics. Hopefully this guy comes back real soon. JT, hopefully he gets back really soon. All that virus tracing and stuff. It's kept him out. Feels like it's been forever, but they just played Philly tonight. Philly ended up winning this game by 8. It's a pretty cool game. Joel Embiid look unstoppable, which he should look like that against, especially the Celtics. But I feel like he should look like that against everybody. And so far this season, he really has looked like that. I mean, I've seen a lot of lists that has him like, top of the MVP candidate so far, a month into the season. And, I can't really even disagree with that. Like, he has been one of the best just players in the league. And, he's always had the talent to be like one of the top guys. But he's really like asserting himself now. He's showing that right now. I think he's averaging like 26 a game. He had 42 and 10 tonight. And it was an easy 42. Like, he was doing whatever he wanted to do against, Tristan Thompson, Daniel Tice. He was doing whatever he wanted to do, which he should be able to do whatever he wants to do because, he's unstoppable when he's really locked in and when he has everything going. But, he was doing everything. Like, he was just dominating the Celtics bigs, like, easily. I mean, he was catching at the three-point line. One dribble, crossover, Euro step, and get fouled. Like, he was doing whatever he wanted. I think he shot, 17 free throws on the game or something crazy like that. He was, 12 for 19 from the field. I mean, he was just crazy efficient. He was crazy good. And, they've been one of the better teams in the league this season when they've had all their guys. I know they had a big virus issue, too. So, when they've had all their guys, they've been really good. But, it's not just Embiid. Like, other guys have been stepping up too. Danny Green shooting the ball pretty decently lately. Ever since that fan kind of kind of called him out. I mean, he's been shooting it really good lately. Tyrese Maxey got the start tonight. He didn't do it. He didn't do anything, but he's a rookie. But he got the start tonight. But I think the really big bright spot for them has been Shake Milton. I mean, he was a bright spot for them last season, but he's been really good this season. Like, he's had some really big games. I think he's had a couple like 28 or 30-point games. Like he's had some big games. Tobias Harris is playing a lot better, which is kind of correlating to the last time he played under Doc Rivers, where he was almost an all-star. I think before he got traded to Philly, like he was almost an all-star in the West that season. He's been pretty good this season as well. I'm not sure what his numbers is, but I think eye test just shows you like he's been really good. Yeah, he's averaging almost 20 points. I think 19 points a game, 7 rebounds. He's been playing really good this season. The only guy that's kind of been like, it's just been kind of is like Ben Simmons. Like I reference my group chat a lot, but that's because we talk about a lot of hoops in there. But we was looking at Ben Simmons. It's like defensively, he's elite. Like he's one of the top defenders in the league. He was my preseason pick for Defensive Player of the Year because I want to say a guard win it, but he's my preseason pick. And defensively he's elite, but like offensively, has he improved since like his rookie season or like maybe year 2? Like we was making an argument like I think he's kind of gotten worse. And like I seen a little 30-second clip of him like summer league his rookie season. Like he was shooting like mid-range jump shots and stuff. I would like to see that from Ben. I just wish he had the confidence to shoot. Cause I think even if you're just like somewhat of like a threat, like you just look like you want to shoot, like teams will at least respect you. Like teams just don't even respect him really on the perimeter. And like I remember Rondo used to kind of be like that, like that teams would just like leave him. But he would start taking the threes and he would make one every now and then. But, just the threat of him taking it, teams won't play you, free throw line at the free throw line. They're not going to just pick you up at the free throw line. Let me talk about my Celtics real quick. This guy needs to get better soon. I've been kind of struggling lately without him. Lost, I think, 2 in a row now. They're getting off to a really good start. But Kemba looked a lot better than he did the first game against the Knicks when he came back from that, knee injury where the Knicks won by 30 points to the Knicks. But he looked a lot better tonight than he did that game, especially in the first half tonight. He was cooking in the first half. He was on a minutes restriction, obviously, because that knee's still definitely a cause for concern, I would say. I'm not 100% confident in his, health going forward. I mean, hopefully it's okay, though, because, he's a big piece to this team. Jaylen Brown's been playing at the all-star level. Did it once again tonight. He didn't shoot it great, but he ended with 26 points, a little under, I think a little under 50%. He's like 10 for 24. That's not terrible. It's not great, but, he played good. He was pacing the team, had a really good run at the end of the third quarter to really, keep the game, not close. I mean, they had the lead heading into the fourth, but, a big part of that reason is because of him. Marcus Smart had his best offensive game of the season. He had 25. Didn't shoot the 3-ball well, but 10 for 19 shooting. He just played really good on the offensive end. You expect to win a game like that if Marcus Smart's having 25 points. And then Daniel Tice had 23. So you definitely expect to win those kind of games. But, hats off to Joel Embiid. I like to see these teams match up at full strength. Hopefully we get a playoff series this year because, last season we didn't get that with both teams 100%. Gordon Hayward was out for Boston. And obviously Ben Simmons was out for Philly. Like, Ben Simmons is still a big piece of this Philly team, especially last season when they had no playmaking outside of him. So, hopefully we get that matchup maybe in the postseason. We'll see. There's a lot of games on the night. A few did get postponed, though, sadly. That's kind of a trend. But, Dallas starting to pick it up a little bit. They went into Indiana, won a game there, won by 12 points. Porzingis had, I think, maybe his best game of the season so far, 27 and 13. And then Luka had another triple-double. I think that's his 30th career triple-double. Kind of ridiculous, but that's just Luka doing Luka things. hopefully Karis LeVert's okay, man, because a mass on the kidney, I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good. I just hope he's okay. Hopefully he's able to come back and still hoop this season because, he'll definitely change the dynamic of this team a little bit. Just give them another threat, honestly. I mean, Sabonis and Brogdon have both been playing all-star levels this season. They both had pretty good games tonight too, stat-wise. So, just hopefully, Karis is able to get back healthy. Miles Turner also didn't play tonight. He's probably Defensive Player of the Year this season. He's averaging 4 blocks a game. I think he has more blocks than like 12 teams have totals. Something crazy like that. Like, he's been that much of a force on the defensive end. Don't know how Bleacher Report didn't have him on that top 3, early season list of Defensive Player of the Year candidates. That's kind of disrespectful, honestly. But he's been great. Hopefully he's back in the lineup soon. I'm not sure why he was out, but hopefully he's back in the lineup soon. Trae Young had a big game. I think he had 38 against Detroit in an overtime win. Detroit's one of those teams that, like, if you're not playing good, they're going to give you a game, and they might be able to sneak away with one. Shout out to Jeremy Grant. He's been hooping, like, big time. He's he's doing exactly what he said he wanted to do, man. Bigger role, and he's thriving in it so far this season. Yeah. I mean, Atlanta was able to pull this one out. Clint Capella had 27 points, 26 rebounds. Big time stat line. He's just doing his thing in the paint, which is one of the things that he's known for is rebounding the basketball. I think John Collins also had 31 points, I believe. Hopefully this team just gets healthy because they've been struggling a little lately. I think, a healthy Hawks team could be, pretty good. Obviously I think Bogdanovich has been out. Gallinari's been missing time. Chris Dunn missed time. Rondo missed time. Like, Onyeka Okongwu, their rookie, missed a lot of time too. So just hopefully they get healthy, man, because that's really the most important thing for this team right now. Next game, though, the Heat got a much-needed win against the Raptors, two teams that have been struggling so far this season for different reasons, though. Miami's kind of been derailed with injuries so far. Hopefully they get healthy, but a benefactor of the injury bug has been Kendrick Nunn. He had 28 tonight. I didn't even know he was, like, still in the rotation. I don't think he has been in the rotation, but, one thing he can do is score the ball, and he did that tonight. 28 points and a 9-point win for them. That's a much-needed victory. As they're just trying to claw their way back to 500 after that slow start. I was watching the Suns-Rockets game, while I've been recording. It seemed like the Suns had that game put away like 10 different times, but Houston just kept finding ways to get back into the game. Even though Houston didn't play that well. I mean, honestly, they were just struggling. It was done by 20 at one point, but they had it to within 2 within like the final minute. But Phoenix was able to close it out. DeAndre Ayton had a dominant game, 26 and 17. And he, like, even if you didn't know his stats, like, just watching, he did look dominant. He kind of looked like, he's doing whatever he wanted. He shot it crazy efficient too, 11 and 15. D-Book had 24. I feel like it's kind of a slow start for Devin Booker. He's averaging like 23 a game. Like, that's still really good, and he's even more efficient than, previous years. Just seems like a little bit of a slow start, but I know he's going to pick it up because he's an all-star caliber player. And I just know he's going to turn it up eventually. And, I think this Phoenix team is one that if they get clicking, like, because when Cam Johnson hit a shot, Jay Crowder's hitting a shot, Cameron Payne's off the bench playing well, Javon Carter's playing good. This team is a tough one to really, I think, compete with. Like, I think they can give a lot of the top teams in the West, like, a run for their money, honestly. Obviously, Houston, post James Harden. Christian Wood went down with an ankle sprain in the first half where he rolled it. It looked really bad, but he finished the game. Kudos to him because, he's had a big season so far. Hopefully he's okay. It's nothing too serious. Then the Clippers blew out the Kings. Kings is one of the most fun teams in basketball, mainly because of De'Aaron Fox, but they also kind of suck, to say the least. I don't really know if there's anything that can fix what they got going on there. But Kawhi had 32 on them. Clippers quietly 11-4. I mean, a lot of the talk is when they, got blown out by the Mavs or blew another 20-point lead or something. But 11-4 in the season. They've been playing really well. Scary team, honestly. Yeah, Steph Curry had 26. They've been playing a lot better ever since Draymond came back. So shout out to Draymond for just impacting the game without even having to score the ball. That's just Draymond type stuff, man. Shout out to him. They've been looking a lot better. I'm interested to see kind of where this season takes them. They're looking like a playoff team of late though, so that's definitely a good sign for them. And they just beat the Spurs, and the Spurs have been a pretty good team so far earlier in the season. So that's a quality win for this Warriors team. Just to keep building on that confidence, especially for guys like Kelly Oubre. Andrew Wiggins has been really good defensively this season. Never thought I would say those things in the same sentence, but also he's been shooting the ball pretty decently too. Kelly Oubre hit 2 threes tonight, had 16 points. It's a good sign. That's a good sign. Then the last game, I had to leave my guy for last. My Tar Heel, man, Cole Anthony hit the game winner, bro. Hit that game winner. It was a tough shot too, and it was a rainbow three. But Orlando goes on the road and beats Minnesota, who has been struggling. Somehow they couldn't pull this game out. They just couldn't pull this game out. But shout out to Cole Anthony because he's stepping into some shoes that have been playing good. Markelle Fultz was playing really good before his injury. I hope he's okay, man. Was listening to him on the JJ Redick podcast, and I think he's gonna bounce back strong because I just think he has that type of mentality. Like not too much can hold him down for too long. So hopefully he's back soon. Well, not soon, but hopefully he's back and he's better than ever. But Orlando able to get this win. They had been struggling without him, but Cole Anthony, as my guy Kenny Beecham would say, Cole Anthony called game, man. Definitely check that shot out if you missed it. Check it out on the Halftime Hoops page on IG because we definitely posted it. But yeah, that's the whole slate of games. So this might be a little bit of a longer video than usual, but thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it to this point, just make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out. I'll be back very soon for sure. Appreciate you guys' support. Yes, sir. Peace.